And I include Michael Caine in that introduction. Also, he is the #1 box office champ in the country and America's sweetheart, Howard Stern.
You go, Howard!
Pretty good.
How about this? Huh?
I like that.
How are you, Howard?
Thanks for treating me like red carpet treatment. Thank you.
Only the best remnants.
That's very, very nice. Where'd you guys get this carpet? What happened to it?
Where'd you get this, at Carpet World or where?
Yeah, remnants.
What a nice place this is, huh? Where's the puppet?
Where we get it? Oh, the puppet?
Where's the puppet? Anybody know where the puppet is?
He's
I miss him.
I miss him too.
I miss the puppet. I wish he'd pop up during my program. If he pops up, I'm out of here. That's it.
Rosenberg is still behind the furniture.
You know, a friend, they used to have a puppet on this show. I don't know if people know that.
People
Do they remember that?
I think so.
Used to be a puppet. And one time I tuned into this program, and Garth Brooks was on.
Right.
And he was going through a very sad kind of story about how he had some trouble with his wife in the beginning, and he was on the road, and he was all of a sudden, this little puppet pops up behind Garth Brooks. And I think Garth Brooks wanted to smack the puppet in the head, but he was much too polite, and it probably ruined the whole segment. So the hell with the puppet.
All right, so you don't really want the puppet.
I really don't want the puppet.
Good. All right,
Okay,
well, then we
good.
should be fine.
All right.
Come on, have a seat. We've got all of the, I've never seen anybody.
Where do I sit?
Right over here, if
Here?
you're comfortable there.
All right.
Spotlighted in both the New Yorker and Penthouse in the same
Well,
line.
shall we go through these magazines?
Sure, sure.
I guess when you have the #1 box office hit movie, you get to be on every magazine.
Right.
You get, your whole life changes.
Right.
For example, this morning, I interviewed Joan London.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah. Now, Joan London works out at my gym. I actually, believe it or not, with this body, I worked out at a gym. Now, you look like you work out. I mean, you got some muscle, but I don't. But she's there every day. I see her on the treadmill. She's wearing a leotard, lovely woman and everything. And you know, the first day I went to the gym and I saw her there, I just said, hi, Joan. And she went, and never said a word to me. So for a couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks, we have never talked to each other at the gym. So the movie goes to #1. She came in to do my show this morning and interview me for Good Morning America. She goes, Howard! So I said, man, my life has really changed.
Yeah. I heard Jackie this morning saying that Shannon Tweed said hi to him poolside.
We are now acceptable. We are now Hollywood's darlings.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll last like 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll do something really wrong, and I'll mess that all up.
Right.
But it really is phenomenal to me to have the #1 movie at the box office, because I wrote the book 4 years ago, and I never would have imagined that it would have been made into a movie. So now suddenly to have the #1 movie is beyond comprehension, and people are walking out. I don't know if you saw the reviews.
Yes, I have seen many of the reviews.
But this is really going to go to my head. I mean, I mean, you thought I had a big head before.
Yeah.
I saw the Gene Shalit review.
Yeah.
And now I'm in love with Gene Shalit. Gene Shalit's in love with me. I go, you know, suddenly that mustache is attractive.
Yeah, right.
And I saw the review with Joel Siegel, another guy with a mustache.
Right.
And Joel Siegel was very funny. He goes, he's doing his review, and he gives a very, very favorable review. And he says at the end of it, you know, I was driving in my car about 10 years ago, and Howard Stern came on the air, and he was screaming that how can Joel Siegel be a movie reviewer? He doesn't know a damn thing. And he says, well, Howard, here's the bad news. I love your movie. I didn't like it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So if I don't know what I'm talking about, then this review is worthless, isn't it?
The most amazing thing, now, as a listener of your show, to hear you not only go on and on about the reviews, because you've worked hard on this movie, you rejected a number of scripts before you were finally happy.
Right.
But to me, more amazing than all of this is that you're going to do Larry King's show.
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, you know
That's
what?
like
You know
a
what?
burying of the hatchet of the major order here.
Yeah, you know, I used to do Larry King's show,
Yeah, did you?
and then I kind of made fun of him on the air, and the man had been married 8 times. You know, I said there might be a personality problem with him, maybe even a deeper psychological problem that Dr. Ruth needs to look into, or something. I said there is something clearly going on there, and I think Larry took some offense at what I said. But having said that, because I believe so much in the movie, now that, I mean, the movie's #1 at the box office, but really what it comes down to is now word of mouth starts to get out there. People are saying it's really outrageously funny and stuff, but you have to go out and promote the movie some more. And I will certainly go on any program, even this one.
Even this one.
Even this program. You never saw me here before,
No, that's
did you?
right.
No offense, but I never had to be here before.
That's right.
But actually, I'm so charged up about it. And I know your show reaches a lot of women.
Yeah.
And I was on the airplane coming back from Los Angeles. I did the Tonight Show. And a stewardess came up to me and she said, I got to tell you something. I really love the movie. I didn't like your radio show. In fact,
My wife was the same way.
Yeah.
When I
And
took
she
her
said,
Saturday night.
She said, I brought 10 stewardesses with me, and we all sat there and laughed hysterically. We've never seen such a funny movie. Like your wife. I mean, you don't have to be a fan of the radio show to enjoy the movie. It's a different experience.
I'm guessing we have a clip. I'm guessing we got about 9.
We better.
All right, all right. Is this the baby making clip? This is a great. This is a
my
great
wife
scene.
had baby fever. When we were in Washington, D.C., that is when my wife, we had been married like 5 years, and my wife said, listen, I have to have a baby. And every day she'd come home screaming that she was ovulating and she had to make this baby. So that's what you see.
All right, so we're about to see Mary McCormick as Allison acting as if she's ovulating, and Howard.
Seriously, come on.
You know what? You're getting baby fever here, and you know, maybe it's a little premature. I'm about 3 days away from being fired, the way I figure it. And you want to know something? You got to think about the economics of this.
You're the best morning man in the history of radio. Any minute you're going to be #1.
Is that so?
Yes,
Let me tell you something. Look at yourself. You're completely on fire about having a baby. You don't understand. I'm not a piece of meat. I mean, I have to be romance.
Yeah, please.
Ooh, look at that bra. Where did you get that?
You like this?
Okay, that's it. That's it. I am making a baby. It's baby time. I'm ready to give you a baby. Hold on.
Okay, now I'm hot. Now I actually want to have sex. I didn't before, and now I do.
It was wonderful doing those scenes with Mary McCormick, who plays my wife. It was a lot of fun. You can imagine we had a good time.
I got to tell you, one of the first things I told my wife when she was saying, so Howard Stern, I said, you know, the thing about Howard that really makes all of it work, I think, to me, is that you and Allison are nuts about each other.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to show in the movie. If I had made a movie that basically did exactly what I did on the radio show or did with my television show, you would say, hey, I saw that already. There's no reason for me to go to a movie theater and see that. I can wait. I don't need to see that kind of thing. What was interesting about making Private Parts is that I get to show my private parts, and I don't mean my genitals. I mean the fact that I got to go in a movie and say, you know, here's my life. This is exactly what happened. I wasn't a crazy wild man off the air. In fact, quite frankly, I was intimidated by everyone. I kowtowed to management. I was afraid to go in and tell management off, just the opposite. I was the world's worst disc jockey. And the fact that I made it and got to be the #1 radio personality in America is really a billion to 1 shot. And that's what I wanted to show, how that all happened.
When we come back Monday as we tape this, and you sounded a little jealous.
You know, someone once said to me, you know, the movie Private Parts is about the fact that a lot of it has to do with my relationship with my wife. And here's this wonderful woman who toured the country with me. And she certainly married me when not too many people were interested. In fact, no one was interested. I was pretty hard up. So here's this wonderful woman who goes around with me. And then when I start to realize my radio dream, I reveal our sex life on the air. I reveal the fact that she had a miscarriage. And she gets pretty angry with me. But I think that when you leave the theater, you understand why we love each other. We both have a pretty good sense of humor and make each other pretty happy. So
check this out. I mean, Allison is looking good, and she's sort of in your turf, you know, surrounded by gorgeous models. Look at this, huh?
Good for her. What is
that's Nancy?
Right, I want to know what's going on in this picture here.
This one here?
Yeah, well, I'll show you which one I mean. This one.
This one.
Who are these guys? What is going on? You know, what's really funny about that is people have said to me, well, how would you feel if your wife had a radio show and she just revealed everything about you and gave her beat on everything? And I said, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it very much. I don't think I could handle it. So she's a real good sport, and this was her reward. She got to be a Marie Claire. She actually liked doing this.
Well, I would think so.
And she comes home, all these really hot guys were all over me, and I'm just like you now. I said, oh, great.
Yeah, but you did sound a little put out, just a little bit.
I was a little put out, yeah. I'm the one who's supposed to be doing that stuff. So, no, she had a good time doing that. You know, she had some fun, and what the heck? She has to get out of the house once in a while.
How did she feel about Mary McCormick's portrayal of her?
She loved her portrayal. As a matter of fact, I took Allison to see the movie about 4 weeks before it opened, and we just sat there together and watched it. And she cried a little during the movie because it was her life up there. And it is rather a touching movie. I know people, you know, tune in and say, this guy made a touching movie, but there is some touching elements in there. And a lot of women have said to me they cried at certain points in the movie. I invited Conan O'Brien to the premiere, and he said he heard weeping. He turned around, it was his girlfriend. He goes, are you crying during a Howard Stern movie? What's with you? But Allison was really touched by it.
I have to tell you, the whole section around the miscarriage, which most people as an isolated incident say this is the devil who would do this on the air.
Right.
When you put it in the context of what you thought Allison's reaction was at home, I'm almost going to say it makes sense only to Howard Stern, but I mean it does in that context.
And actually it made sense to me. I didn't do it to hurt my wife. I talk about her miscarriage on the radio. I really thought genuinely, because of the night before, that my wife would get a kick out of it in some way and think that it was funny. And I misread the situation, but I have this horrible compulsion to talk about everything in my life. The thing that made my radio show a success, I believe, is not necessarily how funny it was, but how honest it was.
Right.
So that honesty sometimes interferes with your personal life.
Did she really compel you? I mean, the movie makes it seem as if she was the one who first said, no, no, what made me laugh on the air was when you were honest that time.
My wife was great with me. She would, I mean, I would come home and sometimes think something was great, and she'd say, no, it was the little moments that were great. You know, no, she was a very good critic of mine. She really listened to the show, and she always was tuned in and would sort of give me some feedback. So the movie is really true. It's about these two people who fall in love and go on the road with this entirely bizarre radio program that I was involved with. And, of course, it's a pretty good business story, too. I mean, the fact is that in order to keep this show on the air, I mean, the first time I did Lesbian Dating Game on the air, I can't tell you the repercussions. I mean, I was really dragged into the general manager's office. You can imagine. It's like if you played the Lesbian Dating Game on this show, you know, Rupert Murdoch would smack you around.
That's right,
He don't go for that.
Or ask for a phone number.
That's a church-loving man. So, you know, he's a real good Christian. So the thing is that, oh, he is. Anyway, so the thing is that I wanted to show all of that. I wanted to show my career path. I wanted to show these general managers and program directors who all knock our dreams. I mean, I know you know as someone in broadcasting, whenever you have a good idea to do something and you go to your boss and you say, hey, I'm going to do this, there's always some guy who's going to step on you or tell you you're horrible on the air.
We've all had a pig vomit.
We've all had a pig vomit. Pig vomit was I named him Pig Vomit. And believe me, even calling my boss Pig Vomit on the air had repercussions. So it's been a wild career, but I've heard from a lot of broadcasters and people in business who say, you know, I have a pig vomit in my life. And it's sort of like a Rocky story. We're all in this 12-round fight with our boss.
Let's start
a movie in the country.
Well, thank you, Howard. And let me return the favor. You have the #1 movie as well.
We were on the air this morning.
That sounded so sincere.
It was very hard for me to even talk to Robin this morning on air because she's such a big movie star. It was very difficult.
It's true, and I'm having a little trouble dealing with you. In fact, people are saying, 2 stars. I often have trouble. You know, the egos are so great. How do 2 stars work together?
We figure we're too big now for radio. So
we're too big for each other.
The funny thing is, when I wrote my book, I got really good reviews for the first time in my life. You know, the critics said, hey, it's well written, it's funny. And then when the movie came out, we got all these phenomenal reviews. And it occurred to me, the thing that I get bashed at most is radio. Critics have never once given me a nice review on my radio show, so I'm pretty sure the thing I'm the worst at is radio. That's it.
Don't believe your press.
Yeah, really?
Do you want to do this? We've got a 6,500 square foot environment here. Now, Dr. Ruth is still counseling. Has she moved on to the actors from the movie now? Has she left?
I'm not. We are going to do that as a secret. I want to know.
So how much?
I think Dr. Ruth is not going to get to
I don't think Dr. Ruth is a sex expert, but I don't think Dr. Ruth has had sex in like 20 years.
Because you're going to find out what sex is.
I promise you that Jackie Martling will have sex with Dr. Ruth before the end of the show. He will seduce her. I know it.
He's a sex expert.
Oh, my God.
Now if I was going to get sexual advice, it would be from Jackie Martling.
Do you know he's made love to a one-legged woman? He's amazing.
Maybe,
He's incredible.
Cut back to Jackie for a second, if you would, Dana.
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
It's coming.
That apparently touched a nerve there, Robin. Whatever.
I don't know, Dr. Ruth, I'm running. Oh, there you go. Oh, there's a shot.
Oh man, that's our Story 24 cam. All right. Now, are you happy? All right, let's get the focus back on Robin Quivers here, the other woman. Are you happy with this environment for your interview?
Well, we could move if you want. I mean, we don't live here, so we don't know what's here.
We're in commercial, and of course you said, well, Robin, do you want to do the interview here? Now, I'm listening to this, and Robin said, okay, well, what do you suggest? And you said the library. Maybe that would be a more interesting place. And I'm saying, oh, my God, I am so tired. I hope we don't have to move out of this couch.
There are chairs in the library, Howard.
But, I mean, just
it wouldn't kill you to move right down the hall.
The thought of getting up out of this couch and moving to a library.
You're that comfortable?
I mean, I'm just so exhausted. I mean, but if you guys want to move, I will move with you.
All right. I thought we had the Il Postino moment on our show.
Well,
this could be it.
I often said during the making of the movie that, like that guy in Il Postino, I will drop dead during this movie because I was not only doing my morning radio show, then we would go out.
You know, that guy did have a heart condition, Howard. What is your excuse?
I'm sure that I have a heart condition. Look at me. You ever see any old people who are this tall? No.
Something wrong?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So I'm pretty sure I will end up like that guy. I'll have the #1 box office hit, and I'll be in the grave somewhere, never to enjoy it. Wonderful.
Why don't we, we're going to give you a shot at picking a room here. A little music, Rob, if we could.
This is like turn the tail on the dog.
And why don't we, while we're moving around here, show a little bit of the clip. Now, this is, I believe, the clip that shows that Robin and Howard have not always been so close, have not always been so tight. There was a bitter falling out period when Robin was fired from a WNBC,
Yeah.
and you accused Howard of not backing
Well,
you.
it seemed that way to me at the time.
Yeah, because he wasn't marching out with you. So let's go to the videotape, and we'll wander around here. Get Howard off the
Listen to
couch.
me. You give me a couple of days, I know I can get you back on the air. I know it.
Forget
They're
it.
trying to break us apart. They're trying to beat us.
That's the whole point. You and Fred should quit and we should go somewhere else.
Quit. If I quit, they win. Don't you see? I don't want them to win. I can't quit.
You're not going to quit?
No.
You're going to let them throw me out like garbage?
No, I want to beat these guys. I want to stomp them into the ground. The only way to do that is to stay on the air. I got to stay on the air, Robin.
You're pathetic.
I'm not pathetic. Just give me a couple of days to make them understand. I can convince these guys to bring you back. I know I can do that.
They stopped dead. We wouldn't.
Yeah, you got to know
they
how big
wouldn't
our
walk.
you
What
got
a
to
compelling movie.
you got to know how big our ego is. We're supposed to move to another room, and then there's this little TV set where you can watch
Right.
the monitor. And of course, Robin and I stopped dead in our tracks and go, we can't miss our own clip.
We're on TV. We couldn't leave.
We need to see our own clip.
They would ask us to leave now.
We've only seen the movie. How many times do you figure we've seen this movie?
Well, you've seen it. You said about 30
You know what?
times.
Let's
I've
go.
only seen it about
Let's
7.
just go. The hell with it. No, let's sit down. Let's go sit here. The hell with it. It was a bad idea.
Thank God. This is nice. In case there's another clip, I don't want to miss it.
Do you know, somebody told me the other day that we, number one, as a comedy team, we have beaten the longevity of Martin and Lewis.
Right.
And we're coming up on the longevity of Abbott and Costello.
But will we ever beat the Three Stooges? Those guys went a little
They
too
together.
long.
Yeah.
Mo was 174 years old, and he was still making the Three Stooges go to Mars. And, you know, there's something not funny about a 900-year-old man getting smacked around in the
Well,
face.
can you do this? Yeah, I was actually thinking this morning. Can you do this when you're 55 years old,
Well,
going
we
to
think-
K-Rock in the morning?
We think we're like Mo. We'll never know. That
No, but because I did ask Howard once. One day we had just gone through a whole sequence of farting on the air,
Yeah.
and they were all laughing hysterically. I never thought it was funny, but they
It's a guy
just
thing.
love
It's
it.
like
It's a guy thing.
Yeah.
And so I walked into the studio after this had all gone on, and I said, "Can you still do this at 50?" And he said, "I don't see why not."
Yeah.
More often, probably.
Unfortunately, yes.
Amazing.
I'm waiting to mature. You know, someone said to me, well, you know, you have the mentality of a 5-year-old. I said, thank you, because I thought it was about a 3-year-old.
That's exaggerated, yes.
Yeah, well, but I figured that's a good thing, because otherwise the radio show would come to a halt if I actually became
Screeching.
intellectual.
Yeah.
Well, it's true, because when we were doing, we've been doing a lot of interviews in advance
guys have been going
of the
nuts.
movie.
Please look at this coffee
Yeah.
table.
And people say to me, does he still shock you? And I said, yes, what is so shocking now is that he hasn't matured.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've
What's the
been
last
together
thing you did
for...
on the air, though, that legitimately shocked you?
Well, he keeps telling, you know, it's embarrassing.
What's embarrassing?
He keeps telling us about his bowel movements now.
Right.
You know, he'll come in and say, you know, I've been eating a lot of bran.
Yeah.
And, you know,
What
I'm
happens?
having diarrhea. I'm like, Howard, I don't want to know
We'll be
this.
happy to know we have a
That's
bathroom,
great.
too.
You do have a
Yeah,
bathroom?
we
I
do.
might have to go use it while Robin reveals more embarrassing details of my
Oh,
life.
no, you're embarrassed.
Oh, you're on TV now, on a legitimate show. Where's the puppet? Where's the puppet when you need it? Never around when you need a puppet. Well, I just said, isn't it interesting now that he is not on Entertainment Tonight anymore? He's gone rock and roll. He has that
got the
facial hair.
goatee thing,
So
yeah.
we're supposed to, I think he's supposed to be a reinvented guy because he has facial hair.
He still looks like Frankenstein.
But
with
he has facial hair. Right. No problem.
You watch, when Mary Hart leaves, she'll have facial.
Yes, exactly.
It'll be the same.
Anyone who leaves Entertainment Tonight gets facial hair. Very interesting.
Are you ready?
Now
We're
tell me
moving.
what's going to happen
We're
next.
just going to move. We're going to get up and move.
I have a bad feeling about this next thing.
That's going to be fine.
Can I stay here?
No, come with us.
You don't want to be a part of it.
I don't want to be a part of it. All right, I'll
Howard's
go.
finally moving music, Rob.
Excuse me, is there going to be a clip? Because
No,
I'm not moving. if
no
there's a clip.
clips. Come on, we're going to, Dr. Ruth has been counseling them.
You better lead the way, because we don't know where
I
we're
hope I
going.
don't fall.
Fred Norris, Gary Delabate, and Jackie the Joke Man Martling
Now,
have
why
been
do
in
we
here.
have to talk to these guys?
Oh, come on, because they're
didn't
part
do
of
that
the gang.
A stage.
Don't wake them. We
I
had
wanna
such
know-
a good talk. Howard, don't wake them.
I want to know who staged this moment. Jackie! I can tell it's a Jackie idea. Hey, you know what? We'll look like we're sleeping when we walk in. That'll be real funny.
Exciting.
Such good questions.
It was him.
Well, we'll sit.
I
We'll
take no blame
go
for this.
over here. You guys stay there.
I'm
Dr.
not
Ruth.
sitting on any bed. That's
Okay, no,
I
come
tell
on
you
over.
something.
I'm going here.
What
You and Robin there.
Share the chair.
Yeah, Howard, you better sit. Take the glasses off. I love you to see your eyes.
all right.
All right. What I wanted to
Is this a
know...
nightmare?
Why you wanted to stay at the couch?
You know, it's an amazing thing, Dr. Ruth. When you
Yes.
make a movie, you
Yes.
suddenly go on every bizarre television show, and this might be the weirdest thing I've done. I'll be honest with you. Get on the bed with them and show us how you have safe sex.
No. I want to tell you something. You know what I'm really happy about you? About your loyalty.
Thank you.
That these three guys who
Yeah,
have
who else
been
would
with
have
you...
stayed with them?
Yeah.
You're right, Doctor.
Dr. Ruth, admit it.
That
You
they
would
stay
have
with
dumped
you.
these guys. You would have dumped these
I would have
guys.
never done
Hey,
them.
she
I
stuck with
like
John
them.
Lawler.
Not only John Lawler's, but every time I come on your show, I like you. You know what, Tom? There is something about that. Now, I'm very interested to know, what did your family say when you went from that radio, which they don't have to see? You know, they don't have to hear. When you went into the movies.
Can I go to Fred for this? Because Fred
Yes.
steals every scene.
You think so?
don't mind my saying.
Oh, not at all. Fred does a great
Fred,
I got to
Thank
tell
you
you.
so much.
No.
Fred does a
What did
great
you like
job.
about the movie? You liked me about
I
the
like
movie?
you in the
Just
movie.
say it
Fred.
again.
Fred,
I like the movie. Just say that again.
You know,
And again and again.
I waited
Say it a
through
lot.
all the Howard scenes to get to you.
Fred,
I'm
answer,
gonna like you a lot.
Fred, answer the Dr. Ruth question.
The doctor, what did my family say? Just have a good time and come back when you want to come back.
That was an incredible...
Which question? Which question did you answer?
I answered. What?
Now, what did they really say
She's going to
about...
keep trying to get... Dr. Ruth, a good interviewer would say, uh-oh, we're in trouble with this guy, and move on to the next guy.
Let me try again. Let me try again. Come
As a
on.
doctor.
Right.
His kid one day is going to see that movie.
Gary's kid?
Gary's
That's
kid.
a frightening.
He will never have to hear the radio,
Right.
because you can always say that wasn't me, that was Howard and Robin. But he will see that movie. Are you worried about that?
No, why should I be worried?
Because the movie is really a nice movie. You know what is nice?
You saw the movie?
I did see the movie, but you know what's nice? That you come out much more humane.
That's right.
You come out like a mensch. You know what that means?
Yes.
Like a
Gentile, I
human
don't know what that is.
being.
that Italian?
Like a
It's
human...
Italian. Dr. Ruth and I are Italian.
Like a human being who has emotions. Who has
you know,
Dr.
these
Ruth, can I
guys...
just say something? I think it's great that you're not interviewing Jackie, because no one wants to hear that.
I have to ask.
I'm just enjoying being next to her.
Are you having fun, Jack?
She was sitting there the whole time afraid she'd never get to talk, and now
When
she's
does
going like a freight
when does
train.
Dr. Ruth start answering sexual questions? That's what
She
I
has
want to
never
know.
answered one on the program.
But that movie, I have never answered. Not only that, you always complain that I don't let you talk. Today I let you talk a lot.
Yeah,
Did
well,
see
you were
that?
working with these people.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You
you
said
see,
nothing to us either.
So talk about the movie, Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
You're about to make a point about the movie.
I was making a point that what I do like is that the radio is one thing, and you talk about those things that I don't talk about right now. But in the movie, it shows that you are caring about your kids,
Yes.
that you really have a good relationship with your wife. And I want to tell you something
Sure
else.
you're in the right
about-
movie, Dr. Ruth?
Dr. Ruth, if I may, there's one, I want to ask you guys. He really revels in getting you upset some mornings. Some mornings you haven't been behind the microphone for more than 2 minutes,
Yes.
and you're yelling at them. You never yell at Rob. You're yelling at them,
What do you mean
screaming at
some
them.
mornings by 6:30. Some mornings by 6:30, he's gotten all three of us.
Yeah.
The other day, he set a record. It was 20 seconds before 6 o'clock, and Gary was up in arms
Can I
already.
say
It was
something about that, though?
unbelievable.
I think you see in the movie
For all
that
the
when
years.
we are at war with management, we are a united
Yes.
team.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
We were probably some of the most picked on people at NBC, and what we try to show in the movie is how we fought back, not with our fists, but with words.
Yes.
Because we're all
Yeah.
cowards. So,
And Howard's
And that we stuck together.
Right.
And we fought as a group.
Right.
However, when we are just among ourselves, well, once
Howard's been training us. He's
we're
training
like
us.
people who duel. In our
Yes.
private time, since we don't have anybody else to fight with, we fight with each other.
Once management got behind us, we had to take
Do we have
take
another
over.
clip? If we keep adding people as we go through the show, this is really going to unravel. You were right.
I tried, we had a little meeting before the show, and I said, wait a second, you're going to pile everybody in one room and we're all going to talk at once? That's not going to be a good show. He said, no,
it's fine.
have you tried this before?
Yeah, they've tried this every day. One
But
of
he
the,
did say, you did say that everybody has like a guy like him
Yes.
in their lives.
Yes.
Well, let's introduce the guy like him.
Well, you know
because-
what? The nicest thing about making a movie is that, you have all of these characters in your head. I mean, certainly I know my father, this guy Pig Vomit, who was my boss at NBC, was such a nightmare for me that when it came to casting this movie, you had to find people, at least in my mind, who were dead on, or else I
Right,
couldn't have done
right.
this. And I got
compliment.
This is a
Giamatti. Pig vomit.
Thank you so much, Al.
No, this is going to come out right.
Yeah, it's gonna
I'll fix it. I screwed it up so far, I'll fix it.
Okay.
Paul, you know, one of the hardest parts to cast is Paul Giamatti because he is the real villain of this movie.
Hey, it's hard not to dislike you when because I've had pig vomits in my past. In radio, yeah.
Every guy who has seen this movie, every woman who works for a living has said to me, you know, I've got a pig vomit. Gee, I hate this guy. And, he does, and first of all, he's really a great guy. And we had a fun time making the movie. And he's a wonderful actor. And he nails this. And I don't know how this happens. I don't know how somebody who you never met the real pig vomit.
No, not at all.
And somehow he just captured his essence.
Because he
Because it was well written. No, it's because it was really well written.
Yeah.
So it was all there, right on the page.
So he projects, really, he can put himself into
Uh-oh, Dr.
that
Ruth is
role.
explaining.
Is this going to be a sex review? Oh, we get into the sex review.
I don't understand, Paul. I thought it was perfectly clear.
Dr. Ruth, can you just throw the word penis in every once in a while to keep the ratings up?
Not today.
All right, flag on the play. Flag on the play, because we have
You have a clip.
a clip of Paul in action. We'll introduce everybody else, and we'll thank everybody for being in the Al Rosenberg Memorial section of the couch. But first, let's take a look at Paul in action as Pig Vomit from Private Parts.
What a name, what a name.
Pig vomit.
Well, you mean practicing here now?
You're not going to get bashful on me now, are you, Howard? Okay, you ready? The way it's said properly is WNBC. This is key. Come on.
WNBC.
Gotta be more like this. Listen up. WNBC. You hear that? Kind of lift. The NBC.
WNBC. WNBC.
Wider.
WNBC.
Very nice. Very nice.
So subtle. You're so subtle. It's just great.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, too, I mean, we could sit here and make love to each other. We're so in love with each other. But what's so great about it for me is that we haven't really seen each other since the movie came out.
Yeah.
And Paul's been getting a lot of acclaim. I mean, they did an article about him just in the New York Times and stuff. I mean, he really plays a great villain, this villainous pig vomit, and he's just so good at it. And what a
But
thrill
it's
to have
nice
worked
that
with him.
what you said just before, that he's basically a good guy.
Now, by the way, he has no sexual problems. He's married. He reads books all day.
I'm not married,
Do you have
but that's...
Oh, you're not? I thought you were.
No.
You got a girlfriend? When are you going to
I
get
got a
married?
girlfriend, but I don't have any sexual problems.
Now, let's move over to Richard, too.
Let's get out on the couch here.
Now,
we're going to
Richard,
skip right over
we're saving Carol for last. Don't worry, we're saving her for last.
All right, okay.
But Richard plays my father. And everyone from the radio knows my father because I call him all the time. And my father was unbelievable when I was a kid. When I was 5 years old, my father wanted me to behave like a 25-year-old, you know? And this constant shut up, sit down that my father used to do, Richard nailed. I mean,
Well,
he
not
did-
only that, your father has a very distinct accent, even though he's from this country.
Yes.
He sounds like he's from somewhere else.
Same with Dr. Ruth. She's from Iowa.
She's from Iowa? I didn't know that. My father was one of these guys who always tried to talk properly. And when he would talk like this. And he would even say to me, he'd say, you want to be an announcer. But if you want to be an announcer, you have to speak in a deep voice. I don't know. Somehow Richard, again, this was the weird thing about Private Parts, and I think why we got such great reviews is because of these actors. These actors just sort of came to life and really captured these people.
Can you give us a little of Ben Stern?
Shut up! Sit down!
I love it. I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
That word moron is something else.
Yeah.
I hope you don't use that with your three guys.
Oh, no. Never.
It's
My dad
always-
didn't wear an earring, though. It's always weird to see Richard with his earring. When he's rock and roll Richard as opposed to Ben Stern. It's a whole different guy.
Now, Carol, who was with us for a whole week, has already been sort of in this experience of Fox After Breakfast.
Whose outfit is this? This is
Look at
something.
that. That's, you're looking good as
know.
usual.
I was standing at the closet at 10 o'clock going, what am I going to wear?
But you were
Carol
upset.
is perfect for this role. Now, this was another tough thing because Carol represents in the movie the woman who always rejected me. The woman who would always, you know, I'd run into her and she wouldn't give me the time of
The
day.
real villain.
And she represents a lot of women who perhaps don't like my radio show because I had to win her over somehow. And then I spend the movie trying to win her over, actually. That's the premise. So, and she does a terrific job. She's great in it. She
But
really
they
is.
cut one of your scenes,
And
right?
this,
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Well, we all had scenes cut.
Yes, they did.
I fought for that scene to be in, by the
Well,
way.
because you know what was important about that scene in my mind is that you were fired from NBC and you came back again. You know, that was really important because it wasn't
Sequel.
Sequel, right.
Okay,
Sequel.
And also,
Shut your mouth.
Think sequel.
the best special effects shot in the movie involves Carol Hall.
Oh, no, you don't have the clip. You do not have the clip.
They've all been together since. No, that's all right. I thought it's one of your tricks.
no, they haven't been together.
That's right,
the
since the movie. This is one of the
just
only
said-
shows you've all been together on promoting it.
I just said to everyone that really making this movie was like really one of the best experiences I had creatively, and because I haven't been that creative up until now. But what was weird is that when the movie came out, and we were talking about the positive reviews. I mean, it's really quite phenomenal to get these kind of reviews. And I Friday night when the movie opened, Robin and I went to a theater just to observe people and just see a real paying crowd and watch them watch this movie. And the waves of laughter that go through the theater. And it's just so great to see what goes on.
How did you hide in a crowd?
Oh, let me mention, we're gonna go to Stuttering John in just a second, John, but we do want to get this point in because it's an important point.
How did you hide?
Yeah.
Can we ignore John?
No, he's waiting. He's standing by. We should get to him at some point. But go ahead.
Yeah, forget it.
All right.
What we'll do is, I'd much rather see me on camera. But,
no, you have to give him a chance.
what I did was I waited till the movie started and then I sat in the back.
Yeah,
and
all
then
the
of
lights
course,
were already
like an idiot, I waited to the end. I wanted to see the whole thing because even in the credits we have some stuff going on and some
the
neat
lights
stuff
came
from
up.
Paul. So the lights come up and suddenly I'm there and everyone goes, "Hey, Howard!" There was like 1,500 people in this theater, and suddenly we're getting crushed by the crowd and everything.
It was like a scene from the movie because now we had to run.
But that's nice for the crowd that
It was
you
great.
were there. And
We
that
were on
actually
such a
could see
high.
it.
It was
And people
unbelievable.
thanking you for allowing them to pay $8 to see it.
I got nervous before the movie came out because they were having all these press screenings. I said, "Gee, they're showing the movie to everyone in America for free." So there's a couple of people who did this. They sent me money after the
Yeah, we
press
sent you
screening.
money.
Yeah,
we
sent
sent
me
you
money
20
too.
for you, and for you, and 10. No, 10 each for you guys.
I kept it all. Gary said to me, "Hey, you know that you had sent money over." He says, "I'm going to return it." I said, "No, you're not. Give me the damn money. I'm proud of this thing. Yeah, I'll give you the money
really
later."
hard.
Yeah, I worked hard. I'll take the money.
Do we have time? It's funny. It's a great love story to all of you.
Wait, I missed it. What did you say? Wait, I missed it.
Wonderful love story, very funny, and did a good time at the
And
movie.
your wife liked it?
And my wife liked
What
it.
did
And you laughed a lot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And your wife, what happened? She wasn't a big fan of
Not a
ours.
big fan, went in, still thinks you need counseling, but she really enjoyed it.
Well, I don't
I'm a baby.
Yeah, that's right.
For you alone.
Right.
Salma Hayek tomorrow, Blair
Who's
Brown,
that?
and
Who's
George.
that?
She's one that's in the new
Fools Rush In.
Fools Rush In,
Yeah.
and all that.
And John.
I want to thank you guys all for being here. I know it's the first time you've all gotten together, and we do have. How much time do we have?
17.
All right, we have to go to Stuttering John. It's at the K-Rock Studios. Stuttering John, I know you didn't get much time in the movie, but we do want to spend a little time with you now. How you doing, Stuttering John?
Are you rolling credits right now? Okay.
So patient.